Welcome back. So today I have here with me the whole Infinity Stone Colored-esque bottle collection of Aromatix X French Avenue. Now I'm going to talk to you about all of these, starting with the older releases, then going on to new ones. So let's get into it. And yes, I will be doing a giveaway in this video, guys, so stay tuned for that. Let's talk about the first one. This is Cardinal Desire. And this one is a leather oud fragrance with a touch of raspberry. Now, the beginning is a little bit more animalic and strong. The leather is a little pronounced, and with the oud, it kind of is a little hard for some people. Now, if you're averse and you cannot get over it, then I say avoid this fragrance. Now, if you don't mind it, and you're like, yeah, I can hold on for an hour, then you'll be met with a pleasant surprise. Because as that first hour goes on, the leather kind of draws backward and the raspberry note in this comes forward, which makes for a really nice winter fragrance. Overall, what's the fragrance? How is it? Projection, I think, is definitely like an 8. It's really strong. The actual, fragrance itself, I'd say it's an 8 out of 10. Not amazing, not bad, just okay. It's not bad. I definitely think it's a muted leather version of like Most Wanted Elixir. Not that this is a clone or inspiration or anything like that. They just have a similar kind of DNA and setup. This is more wearable and more inhalable, I guess. If I had to rank this out of all of the fragrances, including the new releases, I'd maybe put this at number 5. Out of all of them, yeah, I think number 5. We'll leave it there for now. But let's talk about the next one. The next is Royal Taboo. This one is a fragrance that really is a patchouli-forward fragrance and kind of has this like musky quality you get in some of like the dad fragrances from like the 80s and 90s. But once that musk goes away, patchouli, 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 and tobacco. That's what this fragrance is. The powdery kind of vibe it gives and the amount of patchouli in this, it doesn't really kind of earn it many favors. Personally, I'm not a fan of how much patchouli is in here. It's definitely a good fragrance to use for layering, although I would not rate this. Well, I wouldn't wear this, sorry, not rate. I wouldn't wear this on its own, really. I tried, not a fan. So if I had to rate this out of all of his fragrance, I would put this at the bottom. So like at number, I think he's like 7 or 8 right now. So 8 or whatever. But yeah, this is going to be at the bottom. Right here. This, the bottom. Let's talk about the next one. Platine Blanc. This was one that was all weather in that first collection. So as you notice, the first 2 really are like the fall, winter kind of fragrances, and so is the 4th one that we're going to talk about. But number 3 is probably the only one you really can just wear about anywhere. This one, though, it's not super crazy intense, whereas some of the other ones, and a lot of the other ones, really like they take one note and one kind of profile and run with it to make it really intense. Like you get a lot of patchouli here, get a lot of like agarwood or an oud note, leather, and raspberry. Like this one is more of a light, effervescent, aromatic fragrance. It is supposed to be like a mint mojito, and it captures that essence well. It kind of reminds me of the same fizzy, bubbly effect you get in Louis Vuitton's Afternoon Swim, and without all of the fruit. So that's what this is. So if you like Pacific Chill or Afternoon Swim, but you don't like that sweet accord, or you don't want that sweet accord, but you like that fizzy effect, that's what this has right here. It captures that fizzy effect really well, has a little touch of mint. It kind of reminds me of a young basil, where there's just a hint of anisinic kind of trait, which I think that anisinic trait does kind of add on or enhance the fizziness to it. So if I had to rate this, though, I would definitely rate this just below Cardinal Desire, because whereas Cardinal Desire is something I could wear by itself, Platine Blanc, I usually wear this as a layering combo with other fruity or citrus fragrances. Now, let's talk about the fourth one in his old releases. That is Xandel. Now, this I actually just picked up very recently. And this one, I have to say, is quite interesting. Because the moment you spray it first, you get a ton of boozy rum. Like, when I mean a ton, I mean, like, for the first, I want to say hour and a half, smells like a ton of rum. You don't really smell the vanilla and like the caramel in here. All you really smell is just like the booziness in it. And after that first hour, the booziness starts to go away. Yeah, like, oh, wow. It's like someone spilled a drink on you. Like, that's how boozy it is. Ooh, really strong. So if you're a fan of like that boozy kind of vibe, then you will like this. This really does smell like someone just poured, you know, a glass on you of some really dark liquor. That's what this smells like. But in the dry down, you get the vanilla, you get the caramel. It really gets like to that gourmand vibe. Now, I think because of how this fragrance, you know, matures and opens, it definitely is a little bit better than Cardinal Desire, because a lot of people will not be able to handle the animalic notes, whereas with Xandel, you can handle boozy. I feel like a lot of people love Angel Share, so I say it's kind of up the alley of being very boozy like Angel Share. So these are his old fragrances, and this is where they rate so far. All right, so let's get into the new fragrances. This is Forbidden Fruit. Now, before I talk about this, let's talk about the giveaway for a second. I am going to be giving away 3 lucky people 5 ml decants of all of these fragrances. So that means the entire Aromatics collection up to the release of the video, because I don't know when the other 2 are coming out. Now, this is Forbidden Fruit, okay? This one is a very interesting fragrance. It's also boozy, but it has peach, red apple, some rose in it, and I believe like margarita accord. So like Xandel, it's boozy and it's fun, but it's definitely a little bit more feminine as opposed to the other fragrances so far. Now this one, because of the rose in here, I'm gonna rate this right below Platine Blanc. Now, I think this is definitely something you have to kind of pair with something else. It's not something I'd really wear by itself. But this one, I get why it's hyped up. This one you really cannot find online at all. Because, I mean, it's a boozy, fruity fragrance. So, who doesn't love that? Just before I get the last 3 bottles, let's talk about the 2 releases that Aromatics has yet to come out. That is Frostbite and Naughty Dates. Now, Frostbite is a fragrance that's, it's a blue fragrance, it's fresh. I think it's a little bit more plain Jane than some of the other fragrances here. And if I had to put Frostbite anywhere in this, I would put it right below the one that's going to go right here, and I'll explain why. It uses something called Amber Max, if I remember correctly, which it reminds me of like a actual ambergris note, like kind of like a whale vomit smell. Like it literally smells like vomit and salty water in the opening. It goes away after like, you know, a couple of minutes, but because of that, it just loses points for me. Then after it dries down, it does get into this like simple blue accord. Nothing much unique, but that's what Frostbite is. So I would put Frostbite right below that one. So right above this would be Frostbite. Because I could wear Frostbite. This one, like I said, would not wear with, would not wear alone. I'd have to wear this with something. So let's talk about the next. So the next is Magnetic. This one is basically another like, you know, well-rounded one that was made. This one though, I feel like is a twist of 2 DNAs, or really 1 DNA that we all love. So this one right here, I'd say is basically a twist on YSL Myself. It definitely has that white floral you find, you know, with YSL Myself. and a very similar profile. The only thing I feel like they changed is they took the aromatic essence from Jean Paul Gaultier's La Malle, that really strong, sweet lavender, and they put it in with that YSL Myself DNA. So what you're ending up with is this really aromatic version of YSL Myself. And despite that fact, I gotta say, I actually really like that. So I actually would rate that above the rest of the collection so far, because YSL Myself is a good fragrance, and I kind of am a sucker for lavender, so yeah. Now, let's talk about the last two. This is Sunkissed. Now, this one right here is more of a summer spring fragrance, so I haven't worn it a lot. So let's give this another smell. Okay. So when I first smelled this, it really felt more like, you know, it took a lot from French Riviera, from Mancera's, like that sunscreen lotion, suntan lotion kind of vibe. But now that I smell it again, it's like that French Riviera suntan lotion meets with Under the Lemon Tree from Maison Margiela Replica. You know what? Gonna call it an audible, because actually this is definitely a good fragrance. It's just not for this weather. So if I had to rank this, I think I'd actually shift all these over. I actually rate this right here. Yeah. Now, I do have one more actual physical bottle. I have one more bottle to rate that I have physically. But before I do, I want to talk about the last fragrance, which actually I would put right at the tippy top of this rating right now. That is Naughty Dates. Naughty Dates by Aromatics has to be the best out of his collection. It smells super great. It's dates, a touch of fig. It has a little bit of this like tonic vibe. I really, really love it. It's supposed to be this gourmand that's based off of some fig, a date pudding, from some place called Loons in Dubai. So if you're ever in Dubai and you find a cafe called Loons, then try their date pudding, because supposedly it smells just like that. But that is the best aromatic fragrance that has not come out yet. So like I said, Frostbite I'd put right wedging here, and Naughty Dates I'd put like all the way over here at the edge, because it's just like, it's phenomenal. Like, trust me, when you guys smell it, you'll realize why. Now let's talk about the last one. The next and last is Tease Me. Now this one right here is a fragrance that basically takes from that Imagination DNA. Now this one takes that Imagination DNA, puts this kind of ginger and lime top on it, and is a slightly sweeter. But yeah, that's what Tease Me is. It's very simple. It seems like a kind of like what Afnan did with Pacific Chill. No, sorry. Afnan released Rare Reef, which was like a twist on the Pacific Chill DNA. I feel like that's what this is with the Imagination DNA. So out of all the fragrances, I feel like 2 or actually 3 were really more inspired by and twists of, rather than straight up unique or straight up clones. So, you know, I definitely think that's something more welcome than straight up dupes, especially if it's like a influencer collab. So it seems like, you know, he's really not focusing on the whole, like, okay, there's a popular fragrance, I want a one-to-one of it, which I do respect. So I do like the, you know, the fragrances so far. If I had to buy them again, I don't think I would buy Royal Taboo. Platine Blanc too, I'm not sure if I'd pick up by itself. If it was bundled with something, of course, I would get it. And if I didn't have to buy it to put it on my website, probably wouldn't be reaching out to grab it. Personally, myself, like I said, it's just not that unique. It's something to layer with. It's not something that you really wear by itself. Forbidden Fruit as well. It's just a little too feminine for me. And, you know, if I want something boozy, I feel like Rayhan Valhalla or like Killian Share on the rocks do that for me. Not really vibing with this. Xandel, the booziness, I feel, it's okay. I can manage the rest. These ones I definitely would, pick up again. This one, like I said, twist of YSL myself. But if you want to be one of the 3 lucky people to get a 5 ml decant of the entire set, then you know what you have to do. I want you to subscribe, like, and you have to comment specifically which one of these you're looking forward to most. So, I'll see you guys later. Spend better, spray smart. Thank you.